Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own, not to control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in a replay. This is the vault, episode 682, Confessions of a Trustee. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate all the long time listeners. Definitely excited about doing this particular episode. Confessions of a Trustee. It's one of those episodes where we wanted to share the truth of some of the private that people don't get. It's one of those things that we've been privileged to be around very, very successful people. We've been privileged to be around very, very private people. And we're going to share some of those things today. One of the things we're going to talk about is one of the mentors that we had. His name was Dr. Bay. And he never had a job a day of his life. He started a business at 8 years old. How do you connect with someone like that? How do you relate to someone like that? Relate to somebody that has employed people in middle school. They employ people in high school. They employ people as an adult. How? People were brought up with school teachers that they were employees. Then they get in the real world and they want to be an entrepreneur, but they surrounded themselves with employees. How do you think Dr. Babe was an entrepreneur? Because his dad was an entrepreneur. Oh, he had the easy life. He had the easy route. I didn't have entrepreneurs in front of me, Trust Christian. But you're still surrounded by employees. So the question is, how many trustees are going to make that decision to cut off their employee friends? Oh, Trust Christian, what do you mean? You're only going to get employee thought process. How? That's what they're doing. That's what they are. So when we talk to trustees and they say, oh, I'm going to go through trustee training, we ask them, who are they and what are they? And they say, I'm an employee and I work for the man. Confessions of a Trustee say, they're not going to make it. With that thought process, you're not going to make it, ladies and gentlemen. How you going to make it when you, in your heart, you work for someone? How you going to be successful building your own business with an employee thought process? At one point, you got to take the reins. You got to take the mantle of leadership. Oh, Trust Christian, I was going to be a trustee for my family estate. How you going to build generational wealth and take generational wealth to the next level? How you even going to have generational wealth with an employee thought process? Oh, employees, do they pass anything along to their family? The ones that have something of value, that's worth protecting, that understand leadership. You got to get structured in your life. How you going to build generational wealth and pass it along from 2 generations, 3 generations, if it's not structured? You got to structure the wealth. You got to structure meetings. You have to have structure. Oh, Trust Christian Vault, we didn't get to it yet. My family, we watched the football game. Look, this person's going out of town. They going out of town? Oh, Trust Christian, I'm going out of town. I can't have a meeting this weekend. And that's why they're not having proper succession plannings. Because they didn't put succession planning meetings as a priority. When is it going to be a priority? After you lose something? Oh, here we go. You're going to get serious when you get into a lawsuit. Oh, you know how many? We did an episode with someone that said the reason why I trust Christian, I did it was because someone could do a public search on me and my assets. Did you get serious about it though? Did you get serious about the actual administration of it? Or you waiting for the boss to cut a check? How you building generational wealth with a job? Oh, trust Christian, I'm doing it for the benefits. Employee mentality. You don't need to wonder why you're going to fail. Oh, trust Christian, is it a complete situation where I'm going to fail? I have an option. I could shortcut it. I'm shortcutting it with a job. I'm shortcutting generational wealth with a job, trust Christian. Oh, really? You shortcutting generational wealth building with a job. You programming your children that it's okay to have a job. Don't harp on it too much, trust Christian Involved. You sound like, oh, it's not a good thing. Well, first of all, you enter into trustee training and you say you want to build generational wealth and manage generational wealth with an employee thought process. It's not going to work. The expectation is for you to man up, woman up over your family estate and start creating board meetings and create the board meetings that the family can come to and see that you're structured and you're organized. To see that you take the family estate serious regardless of whether you're there or not. You're probably first generational wealth. They say over 80% of the wealth is first generation. That means they have to have structure. They have structure to build the wealth, correct? Confessions of a Trustee. How you gonna endeavor into something first generation and don't even take the time to study? You gotta study. The game goes to the greatest who studies. You think it's about talent? You could say it's about relationships, but what if you don't know the information and the people? You gotta obtain it. We've recommended a trustee. Go connect with the right people. Connected with the right people. The right people are offering them money for their idea. Because we knew that they weren't talking to the right people. They started talking to the right people. They got more money offered and the right people. Already were associated in those circles. We got a trustee recently. Appreciate this trustee. Accountable trustee. That's what you got to be. You got to be accountable for as a trustee. You got to be good for your word. How you going to be in trust and not be good for your word? How you going to be in trust and not be accountable to your word? Oh, Trust Christian, I could talk about it to you, Trust Christian. Talk about what? Talk about being accountable for your word? When that's what you got as your bond? That's what a trust is built on, is your word? How many people, they want to play with the moral slide? Go ahead. Does that affect your word? Trustees want to be in trust, but they don't want to have trust meetings. How you going to be a trustee and don't have a family trust meeting without Trust Christian? There's trustees that will reach out to Trust Christian and say, hey, in the vote and say, hey, we still having meetings without you. Because they take it serious. Oh, Trust Christian, are you angry? Why would we care? We're the ones that can publicly speak about it. We know about it. We're in the rooms. Is your family? Who's paid the cost to be the boss in your family? When are you going to pay the cost to be the boss and be in the rooms? Oh, Trust Christian, I don't like wearing a tie. Somehow, when you come in the rooms, you found out that you had to wear a tie. You had to dress like it was business. Because it's business, it's not personal. But how many people take this as a joke? They talking about it like it's popcorn. You don't stand a chance. How do you stand a chance? Your family's got to step up and put a business plan in place. Oh, Trust Christian, I didn't have a dream before I came to the vault. I don't know my dream, Trust Christian. I don't have a definite plan, Trust Christian. I don't have a business, Trust Christian idea that I'm going to focus on over the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. I don't have a dream. I'm surrounded by no dreams. We don't talk about dreams. And that's why you're going to fail. So until you change the environment, oh, Trust Christian, I'm going to stay around my people. Y'all want to talk? Let's talk. I'm going to stay around my people. And that's why you're going to fail. It's because you got to diversify your pool set. The world got six different continents. So how you going to be able to, how you not going to do business on different continents if you're not able to converse and connect with different groups of people? But you think you're the smartest person in the room? You got to get out your comfort zone. It's too easy to be a failure. Oh, Trust Christian, I'm not going to cut my facial hair. You don't have to worry. The environment dictates who's swimming and who's sinking. Oh, yeah? Trust Christian, I couldn't get over it, man. I know you could. We know you could. That's why we don't see you in the room. Because you didn't get over yourself. You didn't have to get over the people. You had to get over yourself. I'm going to wear beads and chains. You didn't get over yourself. The environment has a uniform. Did you know that? When you play football, you got to wear the helmet, right? When you wear basketball, you got to wear the basketball shoes. When you play golf, you got to wear the golf shoes. Why don't you guys want to play with the uniform? Why don't you want to put structure in place? It's too hard? It's too easy to cut the TV on? It's too easy to be entertained? It's too easy. I don't want hardcore, Trust Christian. I didn't sign up for hard. I signed up because my school teachers, they were employees. So I'm an employee. Public school education. You don't even understand. It isn't. Who's worse? Is it the parents or the public school teachers that taught you not to set goals? To not to dream big? To stretch yourself every year and achieve something for yourself? We got a trustee. She came on the line. She did. She had one contract. Came on the line, immediately grew the contract. Within 30 days to 90 days, has adopted another contract for more than half of the previous contract. What type of time you think we on? It's time that she gets another contract. And then you have a real question to ask yourself. Why do you have a job when you have something that's giving you already 3 times the amount of money that you're making at your job? Now, if your margins are good, because if you're studying business, you understand the margins of your business. You understand the opportunity in your locale. You understand the national opportunity. Is it too easy to think like an employee? Because you're surrounded by employees? Because y'all have an employee conversation? Because y'all got an employee thought process? Then when you get around somebody that's a winner, who's a leader, who says, pick yourself up, you got this, man. And they say, oh man, Trust Christian, I didn't know I had to be self-directed. I gotta be okay with failure. I don't want to compete. Compete? What do I look like competing? I don't know if I love myself to compete. Because when you compete, there's a world that says, I could do something better than you. Some people say, my art is subjective, but your habits aren't. Your consistency and output isn't. Can you create wealth? Or are you just talking about it? Oh, I'm going to create wealth, generational wealth. I'm passing along a house to my kids with a tax liability called property tax. So if they don't pay it, they could still lose it because I didn't know how to put it in the correct position. That's correct. Passing along something with a liability still attached to it. I just want to protect it, but I didn't want to really study how to pass along an asset, not a liability. Because I was playing with it. Oh, okay. It's too easy to fail. It's too easy to fail because you're not going to study. You're not going to put in the long hours. You're going to put in more time scrolling than you are studying. That already says failure written on it. You're going to watch more other people's dreams than your own dreams coming true. That's got failure written on it. Trust Christian, no, 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 I need you to tell me the truth. Tell me the great things. Tell me all the things I got to do right. No, we're telling you all the things people do wrong. Because that's what people want to hear. So they can keep being a failure. Because if you don't want to fail, what are you going to do? You're going to focus on the outcomes you want. People used to get in trust. We used to have that question come up all the time. Tell us all the things that get people messed up. Then we'll tell them the 2 things that can get you messed up. And guess what? If we get on the line with them right now, still to this day, would they know the 2 things? It's only 2. They come on the line. Still to this day. Hey, Trust Christian, I want to confirm what commingling is. Did you read the definition? Did you overstudy the definitions from multiple dictionaries? Did you actually read cases where somebody was actually accused of commingling and they wasn't? Did you study the case law? When you're in a common law environment, we had someone reach out to us recently. They're looking to be trusteed up. And they said, I went on the website for the 3-letter name, and they said, I went on there and they said that the common law trust don't exist. But most of the world operates off common law. Right. They try we joke with people like, oh yeah, the BVI used to have a bad name, Norwegian, and we're not going to say these names exactly because they don't. Switzerland, oh yeah, this, that, and the third. Yeah, right. Luxembourg and Liechtenstein, okay. We don't know if you want to have a business located out of Dubai right now. It's almost asinine. One of the most wealthiest places on the planet. Somebody would tell you not to set up a business in the tax jurisdiction there. Not tax advice, not legal advice. They're uneducated. It's too easy to be uneducated in the world, full of noise. Trust Christian, I'll be looking at your stuff, and then I go look at somebody else's stuff, and I'll be wondering how come they don't really know it like you, but at the same time, they be posting that they know what they talking about, saying that I need to specifically, hey, Trustee Connors recently say, oh yeah, Trust Christian, what do you think about this group over here talking about the Wyoming Trust? Excuse us, Wyoming company, setting up and being in Wyoming. Is Wyoming common law? Yeah. Other states common law? Yeah. You know which ones aren't. But you studying a bunch of information. Remember, man, we're very selective about who we study. You want to know who we study? This is what the mentors told us early on in life. They say, you guys study the people that got the fruit on the tree, Trust Christian in the vault. You gotta study the people that got the fruit on the tree. We were like, well, what does that really mean? And you still to this day, you ask yourself, what is the fruit on the tree? When you get around the billionaires, ladies and gentlemen, when they making you when they making you put up some capital, the barrier to entry started getting higher now. It's not, oh, you come in the room for a $50 ticket. It's not, oh, you come in the room for $100 ticket. Oh, it's not, you come in here for a $300 ticket. It's not, you come in here for a $600 ticket. Oh no, we're talking 1,000 now. Oh, we're talking $2,500 now. Oh, okay. That sounds like somebody's lunch money. Oh yeah. So what happened? You're supposed to elevate your education. Did you get the education from your public school education teachers, or did you get the education from your private families that's meeting in private sessions, and they literally are saying we're private wealth and we only want to deal with other private wealth people. We don't want other people in this room right now who just want to play with it. Oh, I just want to come in the room to play with it. I'ma play with it. You playing with it. They're not coming in the room if you're not even serious. So that's why most people don't stay in the room, because they're not serious. They don't take this thing serious. They want to play with it. I'm going to pass along some wealth. What is a few houses? We know people that passed along a few houses to them, and now they're still stuck with the burden of property tax. That's normal. No, that's called public school education, because you got your public school employee teachers that told you that everything that you hear is the gospel. How did you fact check the teachers? For the ones of you all that question the teachers when you're going through public school education, that's going to serve you well in the real world. Question it all, so you can land on some facts. Fact is, the system you're in, if you're in the West, traditionally, is capitalism. It's built off of you buying and selling ideas. Oh, we live in the information age, Trust Christian Info. Information. But how much information do you have that's turning a profit? Or are you working for somebody? You got just enough information to work for somebody. I got just the information to be self-employed. How much information now do you have to employ other people? If you got an EIN number, how many of y'all sitting on EIN numbers, but you don't employ nobody and you're taking pride in it as a sole proprietor? That's not trustee thinking. Trustee thinking is evolved. Trustee thinking is a delegator. Or are you thinking like an employee? Me, myself, and I. Oh yeah, my trust, my this, my that. I have a house. Oh, it's my this. It's my car. It's my this. And that's why you're broke. Oh, Trust Christian, don't say it to me like that. I'm trying to get over this conniption of being around employees most of my life. Remember, I'm 50. Have some courtesy for your elders. Y'all want to go there? Have some courtesy for your elders? Where you guys going? Do your job. You said you wanted to build generational wealth. Y'all don't understand. Trust Christian could swoop everything off of all of y'all. Because you don't have the heart to actually have a board meeting for your family consistently. And that's why Trust Christians could take it. Why? Because you're not even having consistent board meetings. You think somebody that's having consistent board meetings isn't outworking you? Of course they are. But you putting 40 hours in for the man, for somebody else's family estate that understands capitalism. That's the difference. Somebody's outworking you. Because you wanted to, hey honey, can you pass me a beer while I sit in the lazy boy? It's okay. Best believe Trust Christian is working right now. Best believe the vault's working right now. Asset grabbing. How you focus working for somebody else 8 hours a day and you not acquiring assets for your own family. Y'all think this is a joke. Oh, I got a few assets. What's that? That's how you know you're not a generational wealther, because they talk like that. I got a few houses that I'm renting out. Trust Christian in the vault. If any of y'all hear this, if you take it personal, that's how you don't know that the vault has dealt with so many people that they got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rental properties, 10 rental properties in their portfolio with Airbnb, thinking that they winning. What you mean? You didn't talk about multifamilies yet? You didn't go get an apartment complex yet? You don't know leverage yet? What happened? You got tapped out on personal loans? You getting tapped out on loans because you're not studying how to leverage finance, because you're putting more time in watching TV. You got to watch what? How to actually leverage finance. Trust Christian, you went a little hard, man. That's all it is, man. I'm trying to take it easy a little bit. Take it easy, Trust Christian. Take it easy. That's how they talk. Take it easy. That's why they're losing, because they're taking it easy. Really? Taking it easy for generational wealth? What's generational wealth? Let's talk that talk. Generational wealth. What y'all talking? 25 million? 25 million? How much time you think you got? Oh, I'm gonna do Trust Christian, my generational wealth policy. It's me giving my kids $1 million insurance policy so they can blow their brains out, metaphorically speaking. Why? Because guess what? If you just give somebody that doesn't have brains money, what you think they gonna do with it? If you don't even have it and you doing silliness, what you think your kids gonna do when they get it? That's why most people don't want to leave the money directly to their kids. So they're like, oh man, I'm scared. I don't want to leave the money to my kids directly because I know that they not equipped. I know that they not mentally equipped. They not emotionally equipped. They not equipped. And that's why 80%, that's why the tidy bowl, people just swirling around. That's all. It's too easy to build generational wealth. How's it so hard? Or I gotta wake up every day and set a schedule for myself. How many of y'all setting a schedule for yourself? How many of y'all got quarterly goals? The June just started. It's Q3, baby. How many of y'all is excited about Q3? How many of y'all are fired up about Q3? How many of y'all are looking forward to Q3? How many of y'all got goals set for Q3? How many of y'all got goals set for 6 months? Oh man, Trust Christian, don't tell me that. I don't want to set a goal. It's so hard. I just don't want to set a goal, because if I don't hit it, then I'm a failure. No, it just means that you didn't hit it. That's it. How many of y'all set a goal and it's okay? Let's run. I ain't set no goals, man. I ain't doing all that stuff, man. Ain't set no goal, man. I'm gonna set a goal for what? I know they didn't set goals. We know they didn't set goals, and that's okay too. They didn't set a goal, and failures don't set goals. That's all that is. It's okay. We appreciate knowing that, failures don't set goals, and the people that are really winning out here, they setting goals. Really? Setting goals, 100%. They setting goals. They taking risk. They taking risk on themselves. Oh man, Trust Christian, I gotta take a risk on myself. I gotta take a risk on the family. Oh yeah, that's all. I gotta take a risk on the family. What's that supposed to mean? You gotta take a risk on yourself. How many of them taking risk? We got trustees taking risk on themselves all around the world right now. Really excited, really thankful for them. Really appreciative. Shout out to the trustees that have ventured into entrepreneurship and that are consistent with it and that are focused on it and doing their best to stay committed to it. That are setting goals, and they understand that, hey, it gets lonely out there because the world is a bunch of employees right now, most of them. And you gotta do everything. You gotta kick, you gotta scratch, you gotta claw, you gotta study, you gotta put a lot of long hours in. Man, it ain't the normal no more. It ain't what they show you on TV. It's not what they show you on social media. Okay, you know what? I gotta hunker down. I gotta double down, and you start feeling it. We asked Trustee the other day. They really thought that they could step into our environment. Thought they was gonna be a big dog, and we said, okay. So we got 3 questions for you. What do you want? Trustees got to get clear about that. What do you want, man? You sitting over here saying you want this, you want that, but what do you want? Okay. What are you willing to give up? Oh man, trust Christian in the fault. I don't want you to say it to me like that. I don't want to give up anything. Now we know why. The first thing isn't going to happen. Because what you want requires you to take some time away to give it up some other things to get what you want. Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. Let's talk about it. The last one, how much pain? And we thought about saying this because we knew this was going to be like oh man, I can't believe he just said that word, pain. Trust Christian involved, I can't listen to this no more. I can't listen to that, man. I ain't trying to hear no pain. Trust Christian, man, my life been hard already, man. What makes you think I'm trying to go through some more pain? It's actually two pains we'll point out here. The first pain is the pain of regret. Some people don't have the ability to look back. But when you have the ability to go out in the future and say, this is what I want my life to be, and you know that that's what you want your life to be about, you say, I could go out there, I could go out there, I could see myself 50 years from now, I could see myself at 50, I could see myself at 60. It's so many brothers that we've run into in life, man, and they didn't see themselves making it past 30. So many people you hear say, I didn't know I was going to make it to this age. And it's like, wow. So now you see yourself. You see yourself out there. What do you say to yourself? That's me. All right. And you get to that moment. And you revisit that moment over and over, ladies and gentlemen. What makes y'all think y'all not going to have to revisit that person? That person that you know requires you to leave some friends behind. It requires you to leave some bad habits behind. It requires you to leave some things behind. It requires you to give up some things. And after you give up a few things, some people actually will admit that there is a pain in saying no. Not to yourself. You actually start saying yes to yourself. But you start saying no to things. No to people. Because your time, your energy, you understand how precious it is. You understand how precious it is to have the opportunity right now to even have the opportunity to have generational wealth. And it may not be important to many. Why? That's not who they see themselves as. But if you see yourself as that person, we encourage you to wake up every single day and have a definite purpose. I say, man, trust Christian, man, you don't know how hard it is. Man, I sit here, I gotta read my affirmations every day. I gotta read my love statement to myself every day. I gotta tell myself that I love myself. I gotta tell myself that I deserve this dream. I deserve that house. What you mean? No one in my family got nothing like that. No one in my family got millions. I gotta tell myself that. I gotta read that. I gotta believe that. Yes. And you gotta dedicate everything to that. And stop thinking about, I'm gonna get in this car and I'm about to go serve somebody else's family and their generational wealth. Because they understand the fundamentals. They understand and they study that they live in capitalism. They cannot forsake the system that they're living under or in or above it. One of the mentors used to say, Trust Christian, success is a decision. Ladies and gentlemen, you get to a point where you got to make a decision. It's for what you want. It's not what anyone else said. It's what you wanted. Can you take the time to write down what you want? Not what the boss wanted you to do. Not drive 30 minutes to a job. Not 50 minutes to a job. Not tell you your standard operating procedures for your day. Can you write down your perfect day? That's how the mentors came to us. They said, Trust Christian, write down your perfect day. Then are you going to write down your perfect day? Or are you scared? They scared, Trust Christian. They scared to write down their perfect day. It's too easy to be a failure. No one else is going to read it to them. I got to read this every day. I got to convince myself. I feel like a failure, Trust Christian. Somewhere down inside, even if I'm successful, I'm driving G-Wagons. I got a Benzo. I got a Beamer. I got a house on a loan, on a mortgage. I still feel like a failure. Because you haven't made your decision yet that you're going to be successful. And what you put on that paper is you. Just like if we were to ask you where you at right now, you have to admit the truth. So what happened? Can we write down your new truth? It's too easy to be a failure. Winning. What does winning feel like, Trust Christian? Winning feels like a trustee coming on the line and saying, Trust Christian, guess what? I got a new contract for my business this week. And we say, exactly. Because they understand it's about growth. It's about growing. You know how many people sit on a job and they're not growing? Don't talk to me like that, Trust Christian, in the vault. It's, what do you mean? The job is safe. It's comfortable. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to share with y'all how you overcome this type of thinking. Trust Christian in the vault, you know, one of the trustees actually asked, they said, hey, Trust Christian in the vault, I need a book to read. And we told him. We told him a book to read. Because you got to listen to the input of the people. Just like when you went through public school and you read those books and they programmed you to be an employee, you got to read books that program you to be, which is interesting because one of the best books we've read even still recently was one of the oddest books. And it's just because the gentleman, he called it The Art of Being Unreasonable. How you going to develop your mindset and you not developing your mindset? It's not rocket science. People have turned it into something else. They say, oh, I'm going to read certain books. We got trustees that'll read one trust book and tell you, oh yeah, that's it. First of all, that's not it. Trust Christian wouldn't even tell you there's one thing. But it's definitely, you got to diversify. Not to cloud your vision. But when you're building a business or a trust, you actually have to, we always put new processes and procedures in place to improve the process and procedure. We were even listening to that earlier today. It's you actually improving the process. How many people improving the process, Trust Christian? Trust Christian, I'll improve the process. Yeah, improve the process. That's what you're supposed to be doing for your family estate. People are supposed to be doing that for their family estate. How many people are doing that for their family estate? Improving the process of wealth building. Oh man, it's so hard. Well, it's hard, but that's why it's not easy. You thought this was going to be easy? You think you could just pass a test like public school? If that was the case, think about how many people that have degrees would be successful with money. They're not. So it's not rocket science. There's a formula. And Trust Christian is here to tell you all. Most people are going to fail because they don't have a formula, let alone a system. First thing you can find out is, okay, there's a trust system that I got to find out. Why? That's that protect my asset. That's my intellectual property, my family estate, my energy. It's too easy to fail, man. I don't know if I'm going to have a meeting this week, Trust Christian. Yeah, we know why you don't know if you're going to have a meeting this week. That's just being honest. We know why you do. We know why you not going to have. We know why you know if you're not going to have a meeting this week. We know why. We don't need to ask people why. We don't ask people why. We know why. Oh man, is it hard? That's interesting. Why is it so hard? Because they don't have the system in place. They don't got the habits. When they gonna put the habits in place? Trust Christian, is that really what it is? Promise you. They not used to setting a calendar, so they gotta set a schedule for themselves. They have to learn what a schedule is. They have to put a calendar in place. You put a calendar in place, you know. What else are you gonna do? You start setting goals. You start taking risk. Is it so hard to take risk? What risk they taking? How you taking a risk for your family estate? At that point, it ain't even a risk no more. You're taking a risk when you're not doing anything. That's what they doing. That's what they don't want to hear. That's what they don't want to talk about. They taking a risk by not having a meeting. They taking a risk by not doing a minute. They think the risk is, oh, I'm taking a risk when I do something for my family estate and I say no to somebody, right? How you taking a risk? It's interesting, but it's not. I just want to say, appreciate all the trustees that have reached out, that are growing, that are focused on growing, for sure. That's what it's all about. Growing. But how many people are focused on growing? There's a growth mindset, and then there's a loser mindset. We appreciate everybody that's always tuned in live, listening to replay. Christian at trustchristian.com. Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from y'all. Peace and blessings.